People were packed into the Parks Casino this weekend, and why not? It's in my native Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We're talking the number one casino in all of Pennsylvania, which happens to be in Bucks. They've got it all. World-class headliners at the Excite Center, the open-air Liberty Bell Beer Garden, the Parks Grill Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, just a couple of the outstanding restaurants. They've got action. They have excitement, live entertainment. It really is a destination. It is Parks Casino. Time now for the headlines from Smerconish.com, the newsletter. What a sad weekend. So much tragedy all across the country, not just Buffalo. The racist shooting responsible for the killing of 10 people in a Buffalo supermarket on Saturday, of course, is the lead story. Many other bad things taking place. Orange County, California. Man opens fire yesterday during a lunch reception at the Irvine Taiwanese Presbyterian Church in Laguna Woods. Killed one person, wounded 5 senior citizens. Would have been a heck of a lot worse if those who were present didn't all act. The pastor hit the gunman on the head with a chair. Parishioners hogtied him with electrical cords. In Houston, 2 people killed, 3 more taken to a hospital with injuries after a shooting at a bustling open-air flea market. In Chicago, in Millennial Park. Have you ever been to the bean sculpture? I love the bean sculpture. I've taken a bunch of pictures all walking around the bean sculpture. Those who've been there, they know what I'm talking about. Mayor Lori Lightfoot imposed a curfew banning unaccompanied minors in Millennium Park after a 16-year-old was shot dead Saturday near the bean sculpture. In Milwaukee, a curfew imposed. A massive watch party for the Bucks was canceled. Beer sales slowed downtown after 21 people were hurt in 3 shootings on Friday night. With regard to the Buffalo shooting, I want to recommend at Smerconish.com 2 items in particular. Item number 1 is from Ben Collins at NBC, which is linked in the newsletter. It's there at the website. It's all about the manifesto. A manifesto allegedly written and posted by the suspect in the mass shooting at the Buffalo supermarket that killed 10 laid out a specific plan to attack Black people, repeatedly cited the Great Replacement theory, this false idea that a cabal is attempting to replace white Americans with non-white people through immigration, interracial marriage, and eventually violence. The manifesto had not been modified since it was posted on Thursday. It includes elaborate details of a planned shooting. The document claims the suspect chose Buffalo because it was the city with the highest number of Black people in his vicinity. He drove like 3.5 hours to get there. The theory that he advanced is the same theory that was used by the white supremacist mass shooter who killed 51 people and injured 40 others in New Zealand. It's now been cited by several mass killers since 2018, including the guy charged with killing 11 at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. I'm trying not to mention any of their names. Don't want to give them that heightened celebrity. The individual who killed 23 at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas, and the man who pled guilty to murdering 1 and injuring 3 at a synagogue in California in 2019. So read the Ben Collins piece from NBC that is in the newsletter, and then the Nick Confessori and Karen Yorish piece in today's New York Times. Let me just remind everybody, Nick Confessori was a guest of mine on radio recently. He published a 3-part series in the New York Times. The first part was 20,000 words, just to give you a barometer as to how much print that is. When I was writing a column for the Sunday Philadelphia Inquirer or Philadelphia Daily News, I would get 650 to 800 words. So installment 1 was 20,000 words. Confessori and his colleagues watched 1,100 episodes of Tucker Carlson's show before then writing this series about Carlson and the impact that he has had, among other things, on white nationalism. Now, in the wake of Buffalo, Confessori and Yorish are back in the Times with a story. A fringe conspiracy theory fostered online is refashioned by the GOP. And they go on and they talk about the incidents that I just described, the Pittsburgh synagogue, the Walmart in El Paso, 3 shootings, 3 different targets, Buffalo as well, all linked by one sprawling ever-mutating belief now commonly known as replacement theory. At the extremes of American life, replacement theory, the notion that Western elites, sometimes manipulated by Jews, want to replace and disempower white Americans, has become an engine of racist terror, helping inspire a wave of mass shootings in recent years and fueling the 2017 right-wing rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, that erupted in violence. Replacement theory was once confined to the digital fever swamps of Reddit message boards and semi-obscure white nationalist sites, has gone mainstream. And then it goes on to say, in recent months, versions of these ideas, sanded down and shorn of explicitly anti-Black and anti-Semitic themes, have become commonplace in the Republican Party. No figure, says the New York Times, has promoted the replacement theory more loudly or relentlessly than Fox host Tucker Carlson, who has made elite-led demographic change a central theme in his show since joining Fox's primetime lineup in 2016. The Times investigation published this month showed that in more than 400 episodes of his show, Carlson has amplified the notion that Democratic politicians and other assorted elites want to force demographic change through immigration, and his producers sometimes scoured his show's raw material from the same dark corners of the internet that the Buffalo Suspect did. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, there's a conversation taking place today, and we're having this on my program, as to whether it's fair to blame. I mean, there are a myriad of causes for what just transpired in Buffalo. I almost went that direction on my survey question, but I didn't. But I would have said, is it most attributable to guns? Is it most attributable to mental illness? Is it most attributable to toxic rhetoric? And when you talk about toxic rhetoric, you're talking about, in this case, Tucker Carlson. Is it fair to hold him accountable for what this guy did in Buffalo this weekend? Elise Stefanik is another one. In September, she released a campaign ad on Facebook claiming that Democrats were plotting, quote, a permanent election insurrection by granting amnesty to illegal immigrants, which her ad said would overthrow our current electorate and create a permanent liberal majority in Washington. We have a problem at the border. My own take on this. We have a problem at the border. Title 42, if it goes away, they're talking 18,000 migrants coming per day. We need to fix the border. But I don't believe that there's a cabal in Washington saying, let's let all these people in and then they can mitigate the white votes among us. Those are the lead stories today, but there's a lot more news in terms of what's going on in the world. Let me talk about the Pennsylvania election because a lot happened over the weekend. John Fetterman suffered a stroke. We wish him well. We wish him a full recovery. He's the leading Democratic candidate for the U.S. Senate. Although, TC, you and I were having a conversation before the program began about the timing of all of this.
Well, meaning the conversation we had was on Friday, we knew that he was missing campaign stops. And, it said sort of due to an illness. Didn't even say it was his illness. I sort of thought, well, someone in the family got sick. His kid broke a leg, something like that. And not until Sunday did we find out he had a stroke. I was shocked in this day and age of how many people knew that he was in the hospital, et cetera. No one said anything. No one said the Fetterman's been hospitalized. I was floored by that.
So I watched this commentary on CNN on Saturday morning. And
was it insightful?
Some guy whose name I really can't pronounce said that there are already takeaways from the Pennsylvania election. And one of them is that this is what happens when newsrooms are eviscerated.
So in other words, people obviously knew around the hospital, but they just didn't have a local reporter to call. Like, Fetterman's there. They told their brother, but
if someone were on top of the Fetterman campaign, if there were a person assigned to nothing but the Fetterman campaign, presumably they would have ferreted out before Sunday. But I have a second reaction.
Go ahead.
Which is, and there was a question about Bernie Sanders in the presidential race in the last cycle when he had a heart attack.
Oh, that's right.
What's the obligation of a campaign in terms of how quickly they need to be forthcoming? Because Friday to Sunday, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, that's actually another really good point. I remember you saying with the Bernie Sanders that they needed to be more forthcoming. But then I think of it as a personal level and think, some things are more important than politics and they just needed to sort of deal with themselves. Do you know what I mean?
We want him to have a full recovery.
Oh my gosh, of course.
We
And I
want him
think
to
he's
have a
going
full
to.
recovery.
Thank you, Giselle.
But
She's the
it's-
one that forced him into the hospital.
It's fair to ask, when did they know and how quickly did they tell and where was the media?
Friday to Sunday. That's the answer.
On the Republican side of the Senate, race, Kathy Barnett seems to have shifted from "that's not mine" relative to her old social media posts. She was going a little Joy Reidish.
Oh,
and now is saying, well, is this the best you can do? That's 10 years old. Okay. So that's the Kathy Barnett update. My hunch is that her ascendancy kind of stopped and maybe it's back to Oz and McCormick, but it's so hard to predict. And if she wins, she may win because she's the beneficiary of President Trump over the weekend, coming out in support Saturday morning. Thank you, former President Trump, for doing that right before my program went live on Saturday morning. But Barnett and Mastriano, the sort of ultra MAGA candidates running for Senate and governor respectively, are joined at the hip and have campaigned together. So maybe in Trump going in for Mastriano, it will benefit Kathy Barnett. That's what we need to see. But I think that as big as Trump endorsing Mastriano is something else that happened this weekend in Pennsylvania, and that is the so-called Commonwealth Partners Chamber of Entrepreneurs, which has thus far spent nearly $13 million promoting Bill McSwain.
Whoa, big number.
Ditched him this weekend, and now are throwing in their lot for Lou Barletta, calling on other contenders to do the same because they think this is the only way that maybe Mastriano can be stopped.
This is insane.
It is crazy.
Insane. I thought it was insane last week, and now it is even more insane by health and happenstance. It's crazy.
Well, TC, let me make another observation about this, if I might. Believe me, the Commonwealth Partners Chamber of Entrepreneurs.
Well, you say that as though it isn't legit. What is it?
No.
What, okay,
I mean, it's described as a membership association intended to support business. To me, I think of them as similar to the Club for Growth.
Okay.
But I want to make this observation. A group that has thus far spent $13 million on a candidate is not spending money or making a decision like this without a serious look at the numbers. So they've looked at the numbers and they've concluded McSwain cannot win. And only Barletta has a shot of denying Mastriano. But it's now Monday. You can't make a buy.
This is crazy.
It's too late to make a buy for tomorrow's election. So I don't even know what it really means. I really don't even know what it means. Is it
some kind of get out the vote thing? In other words, is this all meaning to just get people to the polls? I don't know.
They must be looking for ways to spend money.
Yeah.
Okay. And then one more. And I mean, every one of these is a huge, I could spend so much time talking about any one of these Pennsylvania election headlines. How about the fact that Mastriano, who got Trump's nod, comes to Bucks County, Pennsylvania at a rally in Warminster Township? He and Barnett welcome supporters at a place called the Fuge, F-U-G-E event space. Their supporters are welcome and the media is not. And, Robert Costa, a native of Bucks County, now the lead CBS political reporter, is there to do a package. And some guy in a what do they say, TC?
Tri-corner.
Tri-corner hat.
Tri-corner, is that what it is? Yeah,
in
you
a
can picture
tri-corner hat, won't let him cover it.
It doesn't even say anything to him. It's insane.
That is why, and I wrestled with this, and I really wanted to come up with a question that would not be a 99-to-1er, and I don't know if I succeeded, but the survey question today at Smerconish.com, should the media have the same access to a political rally as a candidate's supporters? That was the best that I could do. So if the Mastriano and Barnett supporters are coming into a big event space, should the media have the same? I don't want to say right, because it's private property. The campaign is having an event. I get it. But nevertheless, should they have the same access as the supporters? I think that they should. I mean, I think that it's Russian-like to say, no media can come in and watch what we're doing. And of course, as much as I think it's a poor reflection on Mastriano or Barnett, I get it, to their supporters who've been conditioned fake news, right? It probably excites their supporters to know, yeah, the media can't come in here. It's nutty. It's nutty. Hey, I read and finished Tina Brown's new book. It's called The Palace Papers. She's the former Tatler, Vanity Fair, New Yorker, editor-in-chief.
Yes, indeed.
And
are you happy about this?
The book?
Yes.
I'm just really illuminated.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Queen, I bring this up because the Queen, 96 years old, was at the Royal Windsor Horse Show this weekend. Tom Cruise was there, celebrating her 70-year reign, the Platinum Jubilee. But Tina Brown will be a guest at some point, TC, this week on the program.
Yes.
A lot of Meghan insights.
I was going to ask, has anything changed your mind?
A lot of nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Oh boy.
No. I'm on Team Thomas Markle.
Is Tina on Team Thomas? Because I don't think she's on Team Thomas. No, I don't think so.
So anyway, I'm thrilled that the Queen is back on her feet. That's the point.
She looks well in these pictures. She looks great.
I'm looking forward to my conversation with Tina Brown. As I speak, the trial back underway, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and now comes her cross-examination. So as ugly as it has been, you know that SNL did a whole thing over the Stormy in the bed.
Stop.
Right?
But it was a grumpy. Stormy, grumpy, whatever. Wow, there's just so much. There's so much. How can we possibly keep track?
Oh God. Yeah. So it's gonna get even worse. What else did I want to tell you? I wanted to tell you that there was a Bel Air mansion that went to auction, an over-the-top modern mansion. It's got a stealth DJ booth that rises out of the living room floor by hydraulics, a black marble-clad car gallery, and a glass and marble bridge suspended above the foyer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was listed for $87.8 million. The highest bid came in just under $45.8 million. It did not meet the $50 million reserve, and consequently, Alex Kadavi, who is a dermatologist turned developer, said no sale. TC said it was horrible. And two more. My favorite story of the day when we've got all this heavy news is that Pearl Jam's drummer Matt Cameron tested positive for COVID-19. A local 18-year-old drummer joined the band at the Oakland Arena Friday night and played with Pearl Jam.
Come on. That's amazing.
There's a very famous story about The Who on similar lines, but I thought that this was just really, really great. Eddie Vedder walks out and says, everybody, this is Kai. Kai, this is everybody.
What did they do? Just find him on social media? He reached out to them?
Apparently, he struck up a relationship with Vedder's daughter, Olivia.
Smart.
And met her at the Ohana Fest in 2018. And he reached out for her to say, hey, I'm here and I can drum. The next day, listen to this, TC. The next day, while at school,
come on,
he received a response from the band. They said, send us a video of you drumming. Within an hour of submitting the clip, he was contacted by the manager who said, show up at the stadium for a rehearsal.
You know how every day I'm thinking, like, maybe today something exciting will happen. Maybe today's the day, something big. That is amazing.
And finally, Peloton is plummeting.
No.
Peloton plummeting and Planet Fitness on the rise.
People just want out.
People want to get out and they want to work out with others.
You are working out with others when you're doing Peloton. It's a pack. That's the whole point.
I did a Jen Sherman. I did a Jen Sherman Sunday ride.
Well, you're really reaching out. Good for you.
Classic rock. It was because of the classic rock selection.
She's got great musical taste.
Yes.
Like everybody, all my musically inclined friends really like Jen Sherman.
Hey, man, I think that's a pretty good encapsulation of
It's
what's
a lot.
going on, don't
It's
you?
a lot.
All of those headlines, honestly, I'm so proud of the newsletter. It looks so good. All of those headlines that I just referenced and a whole bunch more are in today's edition of the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. Please make sure you're subscribed. Watch the headlines on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. You'll love that. Embedded in the newsletter is the newsletter cast. So thank you for paying attention to all of those things, and see you tomorrow.